And today, President Biden is expected to announce new measures to address inflation.
And our Washington, D.C. correspondent Joe St. George joins us live with an in-depth look at what comes next as inflation hits the highest in decades. Good morning to you, Joe. You know, the latest consumer price index is expected to come out tomorrow. Can you tell us about the predictions and have we reached peak inflation?
Well, we're going to find out tomorrow morning, right about 7:30 at Texas time. All our phones will buzz with the latest consumer price index, which has quickly become one of the most anticipated economic reports, not just in Washington, but in Texas. It gives us an update, if you will, on the state of inflation in our country and whether there's any improvements or not. We have some numbers we can show you. You guys know I'm a numbers person. I think it helps provide some perspective for people waking up with us this morning. And we can show you that. You can see really since the end of last year, this country has been heading in one direction, and that is inflation's gotten worse. Each and every month, it's been worse than the month before. That hasn't been good for our wallets. That hasn't been good for our pocketbooks. Tomorrow, economists are predicting that the consumer price index will dip a bit. Over 8% is still a lot, but it would be the first time in several months that we weren't getting worse before March. Again, just a prediction by a number of leading economists, but they tend to be pretty close with the numbers that they are following. As a result, President Biden attempting to get ahead, if you will, of the story today. He'll be holding what aides are calling a major address at the White House to discuss what his administration has done already to fight inflation. Perhaps there will be some new announcements, as we've talked about on several mornings now. Inflation's a tough one to fix. You just can't turn on a switch and change it just like that. So we'll be monitoring the president to see for any significant developments. But in briefings with senior aides telling reporters, I expect this to be a quasi-political speech. Expect the president to contrast his views on what should be done in this country versus, let's say, Senator Cruz's views in Texas or Senator Cornyn's views in Texas. So big speech by the president. We'll bring you the highlights a little bit later.
Now, Joe, we continue to wait for an official decision by the Supreme Court on abortion rights. Now, meanwhile, Congress is looking to vote on guaranteeing the right to an abortion Wednesday in the Senate. Why are Democrats moving forward with that if it's expected to fail?
Well, you know, you're right. It's going to fail. They don't have the votes. They would need 60 votes to get through the filibuster. Democrats do not have it. But Senator Chuck Schumer has said that he wants to make sure that every American, every Texan knows where their representative stands on this controversial topic, this topic that we'll be talking about throughout much of the summer, throughout much of the year. So Democrats want Senator Cornyn and Senator Cruz to detail where they stand on this issue. Perhaps it will change someone's opinion waking up in South Texas as they prepare for the next election. That being said, you guys mentioned it. It doesn't mean that nothing is happening on this issue here in Congress. You said at the top there, Congress is moving forward with a plan to provide more security for justices and their families. Last night there was another protest, this time outside Justice Alito's home in Fairfax, Virginia. Democrats and Republicans coming together to recognize that abortion has a history of turning violent at times, and that they want to make sure that the children, the spouses, the partners of the justices are well protected as we await for that official opinion. Oh, by the way, I don't have any news on that front. We may be waiting several weeks before the Supreme Court issues that real, actual, official ruling and not just the draft leak document that we all chatted about 1 week ago.
Waiting with much anticipation. Joe, thank you so much for your time.